Hey, this is Math 6, Unit 3, Lesson 9, Solving Rate Problems. Let's use unit rates like a pro. Here we go. So how much of is shaded in each one here? Here we have some grids that are essentially 100 or 10 by 10 or 100 square units here inside this space. So when I look at how much is shaded, I know I have a 5 by 5 section. So I essentially have 25 squares shaded in this section because it's a 5 by 5, right? So I'm saying I have 25 out of 100 shaded in there. Now 25 out of 100 is essentially what we would call 25%. We call it 25%, we can call it a quarter, we can call it 0.25. There's lots of things we could call that right there. Alright, so we'll talk more about those as time goes on, but for now we know 25 of those are shaded. Over here we have 10, we have one column is shaded, so there's 10 that are shaded there, or essentially there are 10 out of 100 that are shaded. And in this space here we can see that the same 25 has been what's been excluded, so instead of 100 we actually have 100 minus the 25, which leaves you with 75, or in our case here we can notice and say, well, I have about 3/4 of it, because 75 out of 100 also reduces to 3/4. So lots of ways of looking at that, and we'll talk more about how this works as we go along. But first of all, we're going to have a little activity here you're going to do with a partner. It says your teacher will give you a set of cards showing different offers. Find card A and work with a partner to decide whether the offer on card A is a good deal. After we do card A, we're going to give you some time to work on cards B through E. So here's what card A looks like. Card A has a drink pack right here, and what you can see is that you get a 4-pack of water for $3.16. So in the deal you get 4 for $3.16. Now in terms of what that is per one, let's find that out. If I did times for 1, I'm multiplying by 1/4, so it's 3.16 times 1/4, or multiply or divide by 4, however you want to think about it. So we clear this out with 3.16 and we divide by 4, and we end up with 79 cents per bottle in the original deal. In the new deal you have 3 for a price of $2.25. So again, to make that into a 1, we're going to multiply by 1/3, or divide by 3. So 2.25 divided by 3 is going to be equal to, we have 0.75 there, 0.75. So what's the better deal, the original deal or the new deal? We would say the new deal is a better deal, because we're getting one bottle for 75 cents a piece, right? That's a much better deal than the 79 cents a piece. You can also take a step further and say, well, what if you only have 3? Well, if I have 3 of these at 79 cents a piece, that's going to equal $2.37. So that's what it would be at that rate for 3. You can see that's a greater amount than the $2.25 of the new deal. So do the same thing here for the other activities, other card sorts. You can see you're going to have some juice boxes. The juice boxes here, we have the original for 10 for $3.50, the new is 6 for $2.40. So figure out what's the better rate, better deal there. You have some hummus, 16 for $14.40, or 10 for $9. You can look at C, you have granola bars, 5 for $4.40. or 4 for $3.12. And finally here's E, we have 8 for $6.80, or 6 for $5.22. So those are options. Oh, there's an F as well. We'll look at F later on. So let's take a look at those, see what you come up with, and then work with your partner and check it out. I'm going to move on to activity 3. So if you're working on it, you can pause it and then come back, whatever works. Okay. Activity 3. Wild animals from around the world wanted to hold an athletic competition, but no one would let them on an airplane. That's terrible. They decided to just measure how far each animal could sprint in 1 minute and then send the results to you to decide the winner. Look at the information, and then we want to convert units of length to be the same, because they're all different. We have yards, miles, inches, meters, kilometers, feet. Let's put them all in the same thing. Okay, so we know that this is how far they go in 1 minute. And what I want to do is I'm going to put everything, in this case here, I'm going to choose to put everything in terms of feet, okay? That's going to be my goal here. So feet. So first of all, for this first one, I have 1,408 yards. Okay. Now there are 3 feet in a yard, so if I multiply this by 3, I can see that there are going to be a certain number of feet in a yard. Now, if we do this here, let's do yards and let's do feet. Okay, think of it this way. There's 1 and 3, right? So 1 to 3. And in this case here, we know we have 1,408. So we're looking for a number we can multiply here to get me over to the 3. Okay, so it's times 3, multiply by 3. So 1,408 times 3 is going to be equal to 4,224 feet. Now a mile, and there's a lot of there, 1 mile happens to be equal to 1,760 yards. Okay, and we know that yards, we multiply that by 3 to get up with feet. So that gives us 5,280 feet. So that's 5,280 feet. Inches, okay, now we have to go the other way. This is 49,632 inches. And turn that into feet, we're going to multiply by 1 over 12. Because there's one, well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have 1 inch, or 1 foot in 12 inches. So 49,632 divided by 12 is actually equal to 4,136. When we get this next one, we have meters. Okay, so it's kind of annoying. So we have 1,073 meters. 1,073 meters. Okay, we want to convert the meters into something we can work with. So we're going to convert that into, first of all, we have this thing for centimeters. Let's turn that into centimeters. So multiply it by 100. So that becomes 173,300 centimeters. And we know that there are 2.54 centimeters in every 1 inch, right? So to go from here to here, okay, we have to multiply that out there. And we end up doing, this becomes multiplying by 107,300 over 2.54. So we do the calculator here. We have 107,300 divided by 2.54 gives us 4,2244, like that. Something along those lines there, which seems a little bit crazy. Oh yeah, that's inches, and we want to turn it into feet. So now we're going to then divide that by 12, and that gets us about 3,520. Okay, so that is 3,520 because we took this number and we divided by 12. The kilometers, same kind of crazy idea. We have 1.15 kilometers. Okay, and we do some crazy math on that. Just going to give you some stuff here. This is going to work out to be 3,772. And this one already is in feet at 3,773 feet. So in terms of our who goes the farthest, that's the one that goes the most distance in 1 minute. We have the antelope is the winner, going 5,280. And if we place them by how far they go in a minute, the antelope is first. Second place goes to our cougar right here. Third place goes to the hare. Fourth place, oh nope, so yeah, fourth place, fourth place is going to be the this one here, coyote at 3. Ostrich is 5, and then the kangaroo is 6th place. Those are your finishers for that one there. Kind of a crazy conversion problem here happening, just to kind of play with some conversion stuff. Lots of extra work to do there. So in summary for today's lesson, sometimes we can find and use more than one unit rate to solve a problem. So there you go. We can use more than one unit rate to solve a problem. We can do grocery store selling cheese. We have dollars. We have kilograms. We can figure out ounces here. Ounces for 2 kilograms is 16. Sometimes you have to convert between the rates to make them match up so you can compare them properly. Just takes a little more work to get that done, but it is possible to do it, okay? We're going to pause there and give you a chance to work on your homework, and you should be okay. All right, so let's look at the homework. We have a package of sliced cheese costs $2.97. Now we see it's $2.97 and we're getting 11 slices for $2.97. So how much would a package with 18 slices cost? Well, what do we know? We know we have slices and we have a price, and that we're getting 11 slices for $2.97. Can we figure out how much for one slice? Sure. To go from 1 to 11 to 1, sorry, it's multiplying by 1 over 11. So we multiply this by 1 over 11, 2.97 divided by 11, or times 1 over 11, is going to be equal to 0.27. Now, to find out how much 18 slices would cost, we multiply by 18, and 18 times 0.27 is equal to 4.86. And that's how we get it. So it costs $4.86 at the same price. Number 2, a copy machine can print 480 copies every 4 minutes. All right, how many copies can it print in 10 minutes? So here we have copies, and we have minutes, all right? And we know we can do 480 in 4 minutes, and we want to find out how many in 10 minutes, right? So because I want to know how many in 10 minutes, let's make this our 1. So that's times 1/4, and then going in here becomes times 10. So 480 times 1/4, 4 goes into 480, 240 times. Then multiplying that by 10, we end up with 2,400 copies in 10 minutes. Right? Are we okay with that? I think so. Why did I say 240? 4 goes in there, 120. No, sorry, 120. Sorry about that. And then times that is looking at my wrong stuff in my notes there. So sorry. My notes, what I did is I did a shortcut and I made that a 2. I made that 240 and then made it half of 5, well, anyways, don't worry about it. I just went different in my notes, but that's a better way of going about it right there. Okay, next one, let's do this one. We have copies and we have minutes, and we know we had originally 480 in 4 minutes. In this case here we're looking at 720 and we want to know how long. So what we're looking at is we have to get over here to where this number is 720 to find out how long that actually took. So let's turn this one into we could turn it into a 1 value if we chose to, right? Which is going to be times 1 over 480. So if we do 4 times 1 over 480, you end up with 1 over 120. Is that right? Is that right there? Yeah. Yep. So 4 and 480. 480. Oops, messy. I think that'll be okay. 4 goes in there, 1 goes in there, 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So now to go from here to here is times 720. So it's times 720 right here. So 720 divided by 120 gets you 6, just like that. All right. And so that's how long it takes to make 720 copies. It takes 6 minutes. All right. Number 3. Order these objects from heaviest to lightest. Note 1 pound is 16 ounces, 1 kilogram is about 2.2 pounds, and a ton is 2,000 pounds. We're going to organize some things here. Alright, so what's our facts we know so far? 1 pound equals, 16 ounces. We know 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds, and 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. Alright, so here we have 9 tons. 9 tons is about the same as 18,000 pounds. Here we have 1,000 pounds. Here we have 5,500 kilograms. So if we multiply that by 2.2, we're going to convert that into pounds. So that becomes 121,000 pounds. And in terms of the ounces here, the ounces is going to be divided by 16 to turn that into pounds, which gives you 990. So our heaviest thing is right here, 18,000 pounds. That's our school bus. Next comes up with our elephant. Oops. Sorry, that should be just 120. Why did I say that? So 12,000. Next is our elephant at 12,000, followed by our horse at 1,000-ish, and our grand piano right there. Okay, and that's it. Sorry about that zero there. Now, number 4. Andre sometimes mows lawns on the weekends to make extra money. 2 weeks ago, he mowed a neighbor's lawn for half an hour and earned $10. Good job. Last week, he did Uncle for 3.5 hours and earned $30 there. Good job. And they did a community lawn center for 2 hours and got $30. Which job pays better? Well, we know that for half an hour, he gets $10, which would mean that for 1 hour, or 1 hour, he gets $20. And then just for kicks, this is times 2. If we were to multiply this by 3, we'd have 3 over 2 hours, and that becomes 30. So notice that for the neighbor's lawn, it's half hour for 10, is the equivalent ratio to 3.5 for 30, those equivalent ratios. But the 2 hour one, if we kept going here, multiply by 2, that'd be like a half times 4, right? We'd end up with 2 hours, and that should be $40 there. Okay, so in this case here, wait, something's a little off here. Yeah, $40 after 2 hours. So in the community center, he did 2 hours of work and he earned $30 for that. So what do we know? We know that he's making, in this case here, he does a half hour, earns $10 for a half hour. So on 1 hour, for this lawn and this lawn, he gets $20. It's $20 per hour when it's his neighbor and the uncle. But at the community center, he actually earns $15, because right now we can see that he goes 2 hours and he earns 30. And so for 1 times a half, he's going to get $15 per hour at the community center. So which one pays better? We would say actually the neighbors and the uncle seem to pay better than the community center, because here's making $15 an hour and there he's making $20 an hour. And so that's what we would say. All right. Okay, number 5. Calculate and express your answer in decimal form. So we have 17 over 2. 2 goes into there about 8 times with half left over, so 8.5. Here we can reduce 1, and that becomes 50. And so 50 times 3 is 150. And we have 0.2 of 40. That's like 40 times, it's like 4 times 2 is 8, and we gotta move the decimal over. So we're gonna go with 8. And then 0.25 of 60 is 15. All right, and the last one, decompose a polygon. So we calculated, all the measurements are in centimeters. We're going to chop this guy up. This is a review from Unit 1. All right, so what do we have? We can draw a line here and a line here. We have some triangles there, triangle there, triangle there, triangle there, and then squares. We have a rectangle right here, and then we have this large triangle right there. Okay, so a large triangle, first of all, has a height of 6 and a base of 12. So the area, that is 1/2 of the base times the height. So that becomes half of 12 is 6, times 6 is 36 for this space right there. The rectangle piece right here, it has a height of 3 and a length of 12. So 12 times 3 is 36 right there. We have 2 squares, right? And a square is a 2 by 2. So 2 by 2 is 4, but there are 2 of them. So that becomes 8 for the 2 squares. And then we have these triangles, which have a height of 2 and a base of 2, which is 1/2 of the base times the height. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, times 4. So half of 2 is 1, and so that becomes a 1, and 2 times 4 is 8. So we have 36, 36, 8, and 8 all add up together to be 88 centimeters squared for the area of the whole thing. All right, and that's it for today. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.